not sure about you, but every now and then I go back and I make some notes on previous episodes and things.
Okay.
And recently I came across Church and State, one of our earlier episodes, which did phenomenal for us.
Very good episode.
And I know you have actually watched them, listened to the episodes more than a few times also. I wish I had been able to watch them 3 and 4 times, but I do love them in the beginning. I love the follow-up. But when we talked about doing some sequels to some of our better shows, this became the constant theme between both of us.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is
Church and State 2, The Rise and Fall of the Critic.
Glad you brought this up, brother.
Yeah, timely, as you would say, timely.
Timely.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is would-be critics. So everybody's a critic now.
Everybody.
Like, everybody.
Self-proclaimed.
Like, you go on YouTube and, like, everybody's critique and shit. Like, and I'm not talking about the quote-unquote reaction videos. I'm talking, like, the critics.
Yeah.
And, like, you got these people who are just lambasting, just really tearing into people's, art and people's productions. And, like, it boggles my mind. And, like, we all, in a sense, are guilty of, being the would-be critic at times. But
armchair directors.
The armchair directors. But what gives these people the gusto, the gall, to just tear somebody's work down?
I can't say exactly, but I get a couple of feelings about that. I think what's happened over the last, since the advent of the YouTube and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They started in 2007, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm wrong on the year. I think a lot of people, because of that era and everything, and this is not pointing fingers at anybody at all, it's just basically I think what happened was the influence of a different form of a fan started to develop, as opposed to a fan who actually had to buy a publication or read a book or buy a magazine, because films became more of such an integral part of our life in the last 10, 15 years.
True.
That it is actually, it doesn't need to be delineated in paper form anymore, because it's all because of YouTube and films.
Yeah, with the new mediums and the new, social media platforms, like a movie can come out, today, and then somebody can go see that movie and they can do a review on that movie today and put it out. Now,
well, they can kill it or make it successful in one day.
Yeah. And, like, it's cool to put that, like, so it's definitely cool to be able to get that review out, but at the same time, I do not like the fact that people put these, they're putting their subjective opinion out,
But their subjective opinion is not really purely subjective. They're influenced by a lot of things that actually make the system work.
Yeah.
Like, they have to react in a different way now as opposed to the traditional way. A film used to come out before 2007, let's say, and if it was a good film, it just made money because word got out that it was a good film.
Yes, word of
mouth. Now, people are already dogging a production or saying it's better than it is weeks before it comes out, because Hollywood and the media and the reviewers and all these type of people, what they do is there's interviews with the director. They show clips.
Yeah.
They're trying to feed the customers what they think they're supposed to expect, and then these so-called experts, everybody's
would-be critics.
The would-be critics. I mean, and this is no insult, by the way, towards legitimate critics
like Siskel and Ebert.
Yes, but those guys are like dinosaurs in this world today.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the guys now and gals who do all this type of stuff, like I said, they have a lot of influences coming from a different direction, so they have to sort of do some lip service towards that direction.
Yeah.
Because those people are influencing the fact that you're going to be on somebody's special mail list, you're going to be able to go to parties. So everybody's kind of doing a little ass kissing, and they're not really breaking things down correctly.
It's the idea like the Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah, exactly. You hit it on the nose perfectly.
Where like we're just gonna please, placate, and appease like the person that is gonna help us network along instead of giving our honest review. And sometimes in my mind, it's like you have to see a movie more than once to really get,
especially
the
if it's a
artist's
deep
vision.
film, right?
Definitely if it's a deep film.
Because a lot of times these guys, the way they talk about things, they have a tendency to they deflate films that are actually intellectual and have a lot of layers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the audience is all part of that generation of the dumbing down, quote unquote, of America, where it's all designed where if you give them content, whatever it might be, that's a little easier to digest, they're going to go with it a lot easier.
Yes.
If you give them a little too much context, it's like, I don't know if I really like like
complex, if it's too sophisticated, nobody wants to see it.
It's probably the reason which led to the massive growth of streaming. No offense, there's good movies that are scripted well.
Yeah.
But, the stuff where you actually have a little more time and a little more patience is actually on your streaming networks. That's where all the scripting is, between Amazon and without a doubt, Netflix and what they do. They bring over foreign films and everything else. I mean, those guys are into it. Yeah. Where Hollywood, because it's only, let's say, approximately a 2-hour thrill ride. It's a roller coaster for 2 hours. You got to get in.
Yeah.
You got to have the scene. You got to have the action. You got to have the middle reel, and you got to have the good guys win at the end.
Yeah.
And it's got to end. With TV shows, now they got like 9, 10, 12 episodes.
You can stretch out the tension,
and then all this stuff slowly unpacks, with good actors. Take, for example, like Ozark or even
Billions
and those shows. Yeah, those shows would blow on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me, they're good on streaming. Regular network TV, they're acceptable, right?
Yeah.
But when they're on streaming networks, they're inherently that much better, because an actor and a director and a cinematographer, whatever it might be, they can really develop the beauty and the art of what it's all about.
Absolutely. So the second thing I wanted to say is, you're entitled to enjoy whatever you love.
Of course.
Now, I get into a lot of beef with people over Star Wars, which is a very divisive,
look at some of the reviews we got on some of our episodes. We thought we know it's a good episode.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable episode. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So everybody is not into like the same things, and if you enjoy something for the pure entertainment value, you go ahead and don't let anybody make you feel unentitled to like what you like. I like Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith is my personal favorite Star Wars movie. And I hear, boo! Everybody's like, fuck you! That's the worst shit ever! You got the new kids, the millennials and the Gen Zs. They like the new ones, the post ones with Rey and Finn and Poe, the sequels. Then you got the OG older crowd, like the boomers and stuff, and some of the Gen Z guys that like the OG trilogy, and then you got like the bit of a younger crowd, like the millennials that really like, like the first set of sequels or the prequels, in a sense, like I said, for who I am, where I'm at in life, Revenge of the Sith is my favorite one.
Well, that's totally acceptable too. And even though I don't always love every one of the 9 films, but the bottom line is, you invested your money to go to the theater. You made an effort to get there. You bought some things to enjoy. A nice drink with that great Coca-Cola machine where you can make your own drinks. You got your popcorn or your munchies, whatever you want, and you were totally entertained and you left happy.
Yes, dude.
That's what it's supposed.
Revenge
That's
of the
what it's
Sith
about.
Was so huge. There was a good friend of mine, Ish. He passed away a couple years ago. Rest in peace, Ish. Yeah, it was me, him, my manager at the supermarket right now, John, and my boy Tith. Shout out to Tith out in Florida. Salute. And I remember this was like the biggest event as far as a movie that I've ever went to. It was like 20 cars. Everything had the Star Wars logos. It was packed. They had 20 screens running. Everything was Star Wars. It was ridiculous. So that obviously shaped how I felt about the movie.
That was the magic. Yeah, it was the magic. You ever see the Conan O'Brien thing when all the Star Wars guys are out for the first movie?
Yes.
With the little talking guy with the cigar?
That
was big.
Dope.
Because what was there, 15, 16 years or 12 years between films?
Yeah.
That was big.
And at the time, we thought that was it.
Yeah.
That there wasn't going to be anything else. So, that even made it huger. So, whatever you like, do not go by these critics and don't go by your friends or people on, social media telling you all that shit. Fuck those people. If you like it, like it. And say it proud, say it loud. Fuck these fucking people. Enjoy whatever you enjoy. Do not let people don't let people steal your fucking happiness. Well, fuck these would-be critics.
Would-be critics they've been doing it for years, but they're doing it to an alarming level these days. I mean, I don't want to connect anything to the past. We're just talking about people in general. Is if you have a comment or you have a thought, something that you like, and it's fine that you like it, and let's say I didn't like that film, right?
Yeah.
We can have a decent conversation.
Civil discourse.
What is wrong with that, right? Now everybody's got their own agenda because they're all self-proclaimed and they're experts and everything.
Yeah.
And really, they become reviewers who actually write from the point of view of what they only are looking for, not what any potential is that somebody else might be looking for.
Yeah, they're coming from their point of view, which leads me into the next thing. what makes a critic? You know, like what qualifies an actual critic?
Well, in a minute or so, I think if I could sum that up briefly, is a critic has to be somebody who's a specialist in his field, right?
So they should have a background.
They should have a background.
It can't just be some kid on YouTube who watches lots of movies and then just thinks he's a critic.
Well, exactly.
Should at least have some background in film or something.
Well, I think they still teach this in some of the colleges, but
yeah.
But if you go to college, you learn the theory and the history of what film is about.
Yeah.
And what you do is you can actually utilize that history to do multiple things. You could be a reviewer, since we're talking about reviewers. You could be a writer. You could be an editor, a film editor. You could be a script editor.
Yeah.
You could be an actor. You could be a casting director. The whole world of film and theater and movie
there's
and TV,
a lot of layers.
It's big.
Now, I get it.
But you need to know the history of what you're talking about before you just come out of the blue and say, well, I don't really like that Star Wars film.
Yeah, because opinion is subjective.
Right, exactly.
You like chocolate ice cream, I like vanilla ice cream. It doesn't make anybody right or wrong. It's still fucking ice cream.
Right.
Do we all enjoy ice cream? If there's something, inherently bad in the way, they didn't shoot this scene right, there's it's medieval times and there's something from present day I get that they made those mistakes, but if I just enjoy this movie, if I enjoy the dialogue, maybe it speaks to me, then it's my right to enjoy it. Go fuck yourself if you don't like it.
And when they made that film and wrote that script, they knew there'd be some people who would enjoy that aspect of the story. Maybe somebody would enjoy that female actor, or exactly how the film was shot or lit.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, a lot of times what I notice when I read modern style reviewers who have a different from this new modern world, the internet world, whatever you want to call it, is they really incorporate a lot of what they're expecting, because they think that's the way they want the film to be. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing or a bad thing, because maybe I need to analyze you, this writer, this reviewer.
Yes.
Let me find out, maybe I can write a review of you.
Yeah, maybe you're having a bad day. We don't know what influenced you to. There's a lot of different
There's a lot of things.
Human beings are so complex. But
a good reviewer has a tendency to... Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
A good reviewer is... Unbiased. And then actually how to handle things correctly. So, but you can't come in with a sledgehammer and just knock the damn walls down.
Absolutely not. Church.
One of the things that would really make me happy in this little conversation that we're having here, and it's an important conversation that needs to be had, but a lot of times I'm getting pretty fed up and tired of these reviewers who are not well read and not well bred.
Ooh, say that again. That's tough.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's get a t-shirt for that. Not well read and not well bred.
Ooh, yeah.
You folks remember that.
Yeah, I like that.
So where are you taking us next, brother?
So, the impact of these bad reviews.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
They're very dangerous. A lot of good films can lose their legs because some, and we don't know if they're paid off or just some unknowledgeable, fly off the cuff reviewer that's got a couple million followers on Instagram says, "Oh, this movie sucks."
Oh yeah, because he's actually trying to work on his cred.
Yeah,
he's not caring. He doesn't really care about the film or anything else, but it's about him.
Yeah, maybe he's a guy that just gets off on tearing down movies and shit. Now all his followers say, "Oh, this is shit," and then it disseminates, and now the film doesn't have the impact.
Well, it's like a cancer; it spreads fast, and you can't nail it. You can't nail it. Take for example one of the more recent films that came out, and it'll connect to the Suicide Squad, what I'm about to talk about. The Harley Quinn Birds of Prey film that came out.
Yeah.
All right. Now, like we talked about, if you just want to see Harley and those characters having some zany fun and whatnot, you pay your $10 and you buy your stuff. You're happy.
Once again, I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
I can hear the internet now. Boo! Boo! Fuck you, Terry. We thought you was mad. Fuck y'all. By the way.
So the film suffered. Yeah. It didn't do well.
It suffered bad. I enjoyed the movie.
The movie's it's entertaining.
And if you didn't like it, that's my thing.
No, I like it for what it gave me.
Yeah.
It entertained me.
And I
wasn't looking for no Godfather or Apocalypse Now or something.
Yeah. And my thing is, if you didn't like it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But once again, like we said before, if I liked it, just allow me to like it, and it's cool.
Well, look at the Suicide Squad film, which was the first appearance of Harley and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if that film had came out first, it would have suffered like Birds of Prey did.
Yeah.
Because as time goes on, there is definitely a bit of a cult that doesn't really like what the Warner Brothers, AT&T films are all about.
They get the bad rap. There's the Martha thing where everybody's like, Martha, this is bullshit.
It's so
but like,
it's so many. It's so childish.
It's pettiness because if you go back to the original Marvel movies, some of them shits are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're a
but
little
since
off.
they built up a great legacy,
Well, they were consistent.
Which matter of fact, as it being April 26th, that movie came out like a year ago, today or yesterday.
Wow.
Endgame.
Wow.
So salute the Endgame. You know.
Yeah, I will admit that some of these reviewers are a little uptight about the fact that this is relating to the Warner Brother films and everything, the Warner Brother superhero films. And once you start showing a weakness in your stable of what you're doing, today's reviewer, today's fan, it's going to destroy you. Then you get a whole bunch of these kids that are on the same websites and the same pages. They can single-handedly sink the Titanic again.
Hell yeah.
And we've seen it happening a lot.
So tying this up, should you be your own critic?
Well, I think I am already.
Yeah, I mean, we are our own critics, but just the average moviegoer, I say yes.
I think
go
you
out
can
and make your own opinion.
Yeah.
And then just if you want to look at the reviews at the end and do that, but make your own informed choice.
You're absolutely right. Well, look, I've read a lot about film. I've made a few films. And I enjoy films. I understand what it's all about, how it works, how characters are developed, storytelling, all the aspects and attributes of a film and whatnot is. And if I don't know enough about a certain subject matter that's related to a film or a TV show or whatever it might be, I'm a little embarrassed when I make comments on it. So just all I'm saying basically is know what the heck you're talking about, and then I think everybody will be a lot happier. Ladies and gentlemen,
that was the weigh-in.
It's the weigh-in.
Church and State 2, Rise and Fall of the Critic.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.
Good episode, brother.
That was fucking
really good, man. Thank you for bringing it up. I'm glad we got a chance to do that.
Hell yeah.
And folks, well, it's too late for that. This is all we're going to end anyway. All right. Great title, sir.
Are you ready?
I am ready. Seatbelts on.
Yeah. So, to really unpack it and really clarify, so being 80s babies, and some of us older than 80s, like, there wasn't the advent of the internet, and we didn't have cell phones, and we didn't have modern technology as we have of today, 2020. So, it added a certain charm to horror.
Sure did.
It made you feel more isolated in a sense. It made there wasn't the benefit of technology to get you out of things like we have now. So I want to talk about that. So let's just talk about cell phones. Let's start with cell phones.
Sure.
So think about it. You have the traditional horror movie, the guy or the girl is trapped in the house and they go to use the phone and the phone's not working. They cut the phone line. Remember that was a thing?
Yeah.
They would cut the phone line. So
that was a good one.
Yeah.
Remember the girl babysitting? She's in the house. The phone keeps ringing. The dude says, "I'm out to get you. I'm going to kill you."
Yes.
The motherfucker's in the house all along.
Yes, but you don't know because there's no caller ID.
Correct.
So think about it.
The rotary phone.
Yeah, the rotary phone. So you can't do that with cell phones because you're automatically going to be able to see the number and you can trace that back.